Hey, what's up? I am glad you guys came on in to the other side. I want to share with you some things that I didn't share on the other side just because you took the time to make the next step to see what's possible with this college planning niche. So let me give you a breakdown of kind of how I got into this niche because I told you I did the internet lead, the final expense, the seminars, and hitting family members and friends up and all that crazy stuff, right? So how did I get into this niche? Well, one day I was out and and I'm from Kansas City, right? And so there's a place, it's called Scooters. It's like a little coffee house. I don't know if you have one in your city or town or what have you, but there's a place called Scooters. So a friend of mine that I went to college with down in Pittsburgh State, his name is Brian. I won't say his last name. But if you come on over into the other side, I'll walk you through an interview I did with him. Brian is a wealth advisor. Brian is you think I'm a nerd, right? Brian is a nerd, right? But he is cool, and he has, I think at this point, Brian has $40 million assets under management, and he's doing a $50 million buyout of a book of business from somebody that's within his firm, and it's a 5-year buyout, and I think he's on year 2 or 3, 2.5, 3 years, somewhere around there on that buyout. So he is 40, I'm 44, so he's 42. And he, I think, should have probably between 90 and 100 million assets under management probably by the time he's 45, 46, somewhere in that area. So has a lot of influence, makes a lot of money, right? So before I met him over at Scooters, we were just kind of talking over the phone, and I said, hey, man, I just want to sit down with you and, kind of pick your brain, see what you're doing. He's like, well, really, I want to sit down with you because I got a lot of families coming in and they need help with college planning, and I needed to find out some information from you that you were talking about that I didn't know. And I'm like, well, he's making $440,000 a year. What in the heck does he want to learn from me? So I went, he asked me a bunch of questions. I just kind of started rattling off the information based upon me doing the research over about 6 or 7 months, just every day spending 30 minutes to an hour researching all this crazy stuff. Just to give you a quick tip, so you can kind of wonder, like, well, you talking about, all this stuff, tell me something, right? So just to give you an idea, there's a thing called a FAFSA form, right? So when you get ready to do the FAFSA form and that's free application for federal student aid, I do know what that means, right? So when you get ready to do that form, you actually have to put in like your income, your assets, your family size. One of the biggest problems, because 70% of the people that fill out that FAFSA form actually fill it out with errors in it, which is crazy. But one of the biggest things that I've seen people make mistakes on is under the net worth section, they'll put down their 401k. And the government does not mandate that you put that asset down as part of your net worth. And so when people put that down, it messes up their asset protection allowance, which causes them to not qualify for all the financial aid they can. And therefore, the families are now in the position where their EFC, which is your expected family contribution, is so freaking high that you don't qualify for any financial aid. So that's one of the things we try to walk parents through, and we train on this. So if you're part of our program, you're not in this by yourself. We give you all the tips that you can go back to and listen to through videos to position yourself as an expert so they can actually trust that what comes out of your mouth, you know what in the world you're talking about. So that's one of the things we see. I'll throw 2 more at you. Sometimes people think, well, if I have a husband and wife and I got a divorce and I've got to have the child living with me in order to claim them for financial aid purposes for the FAFSA. Well, the way FAFSA looks at this is if I make $150,000 a year as an individual and my ex-wife makes $40,000 a year, it would make more sense for her to file the FAFSA form than me because I make too much, right, for income qualifications. But what we see is whoever has 51% custody, you can actually have from 1 year to the next, each one of you claim the child on the taxes. So it doesn't mandate that who claims the child on the taxes has to fill out the FAFSA. It's whatever parent has 51% custody, wherever that child stays for 51% of the time is the income that you can use for FAFSA, right? So that's another one. And then the last one I'll throw at you is there's a thing on there, and you'll see it in the video, I'll break this down, but there's a thing out there that's called college leveraging. And I'll show you more so on that. I'll just tell you that you can actually do price matching where you get award letters from one college and you can leverage that against another school. I'll show you an actual letter that you can see what we did to help a family out through my affiliation. So those are just some of the things that we do on the college planning side as far as being able to provide value to the clients so they can see that we are experts in what we do. So anyway, I went to Scooters. I met with Brian. Brian was, hitting me all these questions. I'm just rattling the stuff off like I just did for you. And then he said, man, have you ever considered that being your niche? He's like, the riches are in the niches. And I thought about that. I was like, what do you mean, man? He's like, the riches, man, are in the niches. He's like, who makes more money? A general doctor that handles your toe, your cold, your measles shots, your, flu, whatever. Do they make more money? Or does a brain surgeon make more money? And I kind of pondered that over, and I was like, man, I guess that does make more sense. A brain surgeon probably would make more money then. He's like, so who do you think will probably work less hours? The brain surgeon or the regular general doctor? I said, well, probably the brain surgeon. I can't see them doing 5 or 6 brain surgeries in a day. He's like, exactly. He's like, so what you need to do is figure out how you can become an expert in that college planning niche. And if you do that, you'll attract the people to you that want your knowledge, and they want your expertise, and they want your systems. And so I just went to work, man. I started putting in the work, putting in the systems, and it kind of led up to where I'm at now. But what I want to do is kind of preview for you, right, these 3 systems that I've created. The first one is just creating a ton of value for the students. So being able to have the software, being able to give them a free $1,000 scholarship. So every person that's in our program, from a newborn up to a junior in high school, will get a $1,000 scholarship just by meeting you. If you're in this program, you're able to give a $1,000 scholarship to all these families. In addition to that, they get $1,000 every year of their birthday just for being in the program, right? And so you're the person that is the conduit. You're the person that's bringing this value to them that they can't get anywhere else if you're in this program. So that's a great way of being able to get referrals. Another way is, and you'll see it in the preview video, is every family that refers someone over to you, they'll get an additional $500 for every referral up to 5 people. So they'll get another $2,000 in scholarship referrals on top of the $1,000 that you give them. So they can literally get $3,000 in scholarships just by by you meeting with them, and then when you leave the house, they'll have $3,000 in scholarships. They max you out. So we try to get 5 referrals in our system, but they max you out at $2,000 for those 5 referrals plus the $1,000 that you give them. So if you're trying to count me on my numbers, make sure I'm legit. That's how that $3,000 comes about. So that's the first one, is the value for the student, the software, the SAGE scholarships, and then also being able to have 24/7 access to college coaches that can help them out with questions that they have about, is this college accredited? What's their ACT test criteria? How do I do research to find out what I want to do with my career? We'll walk you through that in the preview, so I won't hit that too much harder. Number 2, we're going to walk through, what do you say when you meet with the families? How do you schedule the appointments? What do you say when you get in front of the families? How do you transition from a scholarship conversation over to a financial services conversation? So we'll walk through that in video number 2 in the preview. And then video number 3 is strictly the business. How do we convert a person who's getting a scholarship, talking to a family? How does that turn into making money? When I talked about taking $1 and turning it into $20, how do I make money with this? So we're going to walk you through those things. So take the time and go through those videos. Now let me go ahead and hit you now with it. I hate when people wait until the last minute. I did research. I'm a nerd. I do a lot of research. And I noticed that there's about 100 to 120,000 independent financial advisors, agents, however you want to say that are out here, right? Probably more than that, but that's where I can actually get a list or a database of people. So my approach is guerrilla. I'm going to actually call. You may have actually talked to me on the phone. I'm actually going to call you and get your email address, and I'll say something like, and you probably already heard it. By this point, you probably already heard it. But I'm telling you again, pretty much what I said is, hey, my name is Claude Harris. I create a scholarship software app. It helps advisors get a ton of referrals, build your business. You can actually earn another $75,000 to $100,000 a year on top of what you're doing right now just by plugging into this system. If you don't mind, I'd love to be able to email you some information about the program, see if you may be interested in it. Then you went over to my landing page, yada, 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 right? So I am looking between now and the next 60 days to bring on 200 advisors to our team, and then we're not going to add any more for a whole 12 months. We just want to be able to love on these 200 advisors, make sure that they get up and ramped, and then we'll scale it up from there where we get to a place where we have another 300 more advisors added on in 2019. So we will not do any more advisors coming on between 2017 and 2018. In 2019, we'll launch out to bring on the rest of the advisors that we want to service, and then from there, we're going to move over into some other platforms. So very excited. If you are interested, please, you'll notice down at the bottom, you can actually try this system out for 7 days for free. Well, you're going to get intense training. You'll be able to get access to scholarships. So just by going through the free 7-day trial, we're going to give your family, so if you got a son, daughter, niece, nephew, somebody in the family, we'll give you a $1,000 scholarship for them just by going deeper into this program. On top of that, we're going to give you access to the software at no cost. I charge people for this, but I believe in this program so much that I'm willing to give you these things. So if you choose not to go forward with the program after 7 days, you keep the $1,000 scholarship, keep access to the software, and if there's anything out there that you download and you're trying to take some of my scripts or whatever, you take it. You can't stop what I'm doing anyway, so I'm just out here trying to help. But you're going to have 72 hours. You'll see that there's going to be a clock on this page. You'll have 72 hours to go through the preview videos and make a decision on if you want to go through the 7-day trial or not. After 72 hours just came and went, it's done. I'm moving on to the next person. I want to work with people that can make decisions immediately. If you see value, you act on it. I don't have time to work with people that, they got excuses or what have you. When I saw the opportunity, no one paved the way for me. I had to pave the way myself. And so if you're interested in taking your financial practice or your business to the next level, I beg you, take the time. I mean, it may require 45 minutes to an hour and a half of your time to go through and research this to see if it's worth it. But is an hour and a half worth you adding another $75,000 to $100,000 a year to your practice? If you can add that to your practice, if you're already making money and you can add another $75,000 to $100,000, what could that do for your marketing? What could that do for your debt? What could that do for you being able to go into another asset class? And I'll say this and I'm done because I want to make sure I kept this to about 12 to 15 minutes. If you want to become wealthy, I talked about becoming financially free, not dependent upon security. If you want to become wealthy, the only way you can do this is by understanding what your financial freedom number is. Your financial freedom number is basically the amount of money you need to have coming in every month where all your bills are paid. There are some things that you can actually pay off, right? You can pay off a house. You can pay off a car. You can pay off credit cards. You can pay off student loans. So if you get those things paid for, the amount of money you need coming in every month goes down, right? But you want to get financially free, so you want to not trade time for money. So in order to do that, you have to invest into 3 asset classes, right? This is extra stuff here. The first asset class you can invest in is basically you can say real estate. I'm a financial advisor, so the second, you can make for financial advisors, we say is paper assets, that's stocks, bonds, mutual funds, whatever, right? I have my securities license, my 7 and my 66. So I've been through all that stuff. I'm building a practice out now. And then what I'm doing with this is actually the third asset class, which is business. So you can actually have portfolio or paper assets. You can actually have real estate, or you can actually have a business. So I invest in really in all 3, to be honest with you. But the reason why I'm heavy concerned about the business aspect is a lot of people that are out here as independent agents or advisors, they only basically have, one asset class, which is they're investing in paper assets, or maybe they don't make enough money to invest in paper assets. So now they're basically just kind of hustling and hoping that their residuals from their renewals will actually pay for their lifestyle, whatever. But I'm just trying to help you guys not only with the system of college planning, but we have podcasts. We have once a month calls that we'll do where you can actually pick my brain. There's going to be a community of other people that you can get involved with this program that's going to actually help you to learn more about how to become better in your practice. I'm investing constantly into courses. Bill Bacharach is amazing. The 7-figure financial advisor is amazing. I don't know if you ever heard of a book out there by Tom Corley, which is called Rich Habits. So I'm looking at stuff like that. There's another one out there that talks about, the tax triangle that breaks down, David McKnight. David McKnight, not Brian McKnight if you're an R&B person, but David McKnight, which is called The Power of Zero, and it talks about how you can actually take distributions out of retirement accounts and zero out the taxes on those things. So hey, I'm a student of the game. I'm investing to become the best in the game, and I want to bring together a group of advisors or a group of agents that we can mastermind off of each other, take each other to the next level, impact our communities. I got some other stuff up my sleeve. Those that are connected with me as we roll those things out, you'll be involved in those things. They are going to help generate more income, of course, for you and your family, but also it's going to help you impact the community at a high level. So excited to see you guys coming in to the next step. Go through the preview videos, check out 1, 2, and 3. If you feel comfortable enough to take the next step, go ahead and register for the 7-day free trial. From that point, let's get to work. 7 days, I'm going to show you how you can get referrals in 7 days, show you how you can get in front of families in 7 days, how you can start making money in 7 days. God bless, be blessed. Peace.